The California Coastal Commission is expected to meet next week about the city's plan to use a year-round rope to segregate harbor seals and beachgoers at the children's pool in La Jolla. But lifeguards say it won't work. Ed Harris, head of the Lifeguard Union, joins us tonight to talk about an alternative boulder barrier. Ed, thanks so much for joining us here today. And I think probably the first thing is we have to explain, what is this barrier?
Well, it's a separation. The seals enjoy the beach in the wintertime, but they really don't like it when it's hot in the summer. Children really don't use it in the winter, but they sure want to be down there in the summer. So a boulder barrier separates different percentages of the beach at different times of the year, and that way there's access to all, and the seals are protected better. It's not just a rope that you can go under and over.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Maybe we can take a look at what the map is. We're looking at it right now. What are we looking at? Explain to me. This is the children's pool in La Jolla.
Yeah, so you're looking at a summer edition of that plan, and so it keeps about 25% of the beach where the seals tend to like the most down by the wall, and it surrounds them with a rock barrier so that we don't have people petting them, we don't have people going up to them. It keeps people further away.
And that's what this is supposed to do, keep them further away. Problems with the rope barrier right now, it seems like, obviously to people, we know that's when you're supposed to stop.
Yeah, unfortunately, the rope barrier, there's not a law. And so people walk up and they see a completely open beach with no seals on it, and they walk out. Or they see the seals all the way across the beach. And so they walk past the rope, forget about the rope, and walk right up to the seals.
Well, that can't be good. Tell me what you've seen. You've been over at the children's pool for years and years now. What are you seeing as far as harassment or inappropriate behavior, either by the visitors or, I have to say, the seals themselves?
Yeah, harassment of the visitors, of the tourists. Nobody has a right to make kids cry. Even public service, my lifeguards have been put on YouTube, they've been put on everything, they've been harassed, and so nobody has that right. But people continue to yell at kids, to yell at people, and to interject themselves as an activist when they don't have the right to do so.
So these are people who are trying to protect the seals or sea lions that are there, yelling at each other. How about actually toward the animals? Is anybody going after them?
I don't see, I see innocent, naive people try to pet them, try to do other things, stuff like that. But both groups are guilty of harassing.
All right. Harassing each other, we should say. So is this a dangerous situation here? I have personally overheard people say, no, they're more afraid of us than we are them. And as far as the seals go, is this dangerous?
The seals in the water aren't afraid of you at all. In fact, they come up and they scratch you and they play with you and they do all kinds of stuff. On the land, I believe they feel vulnerable, and I think they need a place behind the boulders where they have a place of their own that people aren't going to get near them and they can relax.
Where they feel safe. Now, how big are these boulders? How do you move them, and how much is it going to cost?
Well, that's the nice part about it, is it's city equipment. We move thousands of pounds of sand every year from all of the beaches, and so it can be moved with existing staff, existing bulldozers. They may need some augmented money to augment the staff, but it's not a big process. Twice a year, you would go in, lift the boulders, move them over, clean up some of the sand that's contaminated with feces. You have to imagine if nobody cleaned up the dog park that you go to ever. We have 300 seals, and no one's ever cleaned up the contamination there, and so we got to start looking at that.
Right, that was going to be my next question. So there is contamination in that children's pool, bacteria levels in the water and also in the sand.
Absolutely. I mean, the pool is a man-made structure, and it traps. It's the only place that I know in Southern California that's not flushed out by the west swell, the north swell, or the south swell. And so you need something to go in. We got to clean it. Just like we built it, it's artificial. We got to clean it.
All right. Now, you're going to bring this to the La Jolla Community Planning Board tomorrow night. Is that enough, this boulder barrier plan to them, is that enough time to get it before the Coastal Commission?
Well, it'll actually go to them tonight. It's already been to Parks and Beaches, but already the community groups have voiced their opinion not to support the rope. And so we're concerned that the Coastal Commission might come in and vote something that's not embraced, I guess, by the community itself.
All right, so if they sort of say no to the rope, but they're not necessarily saying yes to the boulders.
Correct, and that would give us time to come back and get the groups together, get both sides back to the table and present the plan, and something that everybody can be happy with, and if they buy into it, they're less likely to fight, which is somewhere in the middle, somewhere reasonable. Try to get to a point where everybody can get along.
All righty, Ed Harris, thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you.